I'm from Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
I came to United States in 2010.
Uh-huh.
And I came here for my bachelor's. Did my bachelor's. I worked for a little bit on OPT for like almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the beginning of me realizing that I really need to figure out my immigration status. Because I came really young. I was just excited to come to go to school because in my home country, there's a lot of strikes. A 4-year degree would take some people 7-8 years to complete. So I was just excited to kind of come to a place where the education was stable.
Mm-hmm.
Education system was stable and we didn't have those kind of issues here in the United States. Then I had issues kind of maintaining a position because they couldn't sponsor me.
In your bachelor's?
After my bachelor's.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I went ahead and applied for master's. I got into a master's program. I got my master's, and then I started working immediately after I finished.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually very fortunate to get a position before I even graduated.
That's
so
good.
Immediately I graduated, I was able to work, but then I worked on STEM OPT, so I worked for almost 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But while I was at my second position, I tried to apply for, I tried to ask my company to sponsor me for H1B, and they couldn't. I don't know why. They didn't give me a definite answer, kind of just dragging their feet. So I kind of had a deadline. I gave them like 2 months. When I didn't get a response, I took GRE again and I applied for PhD program, which I got into. That's where I am now. So I'm a third-year grad student now, or I'll be entering the third year next month. So
and you are at Rutgers, right?
Yes, I'm now in my thesis phase. So I'm done with coursework. Everything is just research. So, and I'm trying to figure out what I should do in terms of my immigration status. So just recently, I've known about all the options. Because even in my undergrad and in the school I'm currently at, they do give us information via immigration lawyers. We have seminars where they tell us what our options are. So I recently kind of saw, I think it's like a Google ad, options, and they were like, oh, PhD students can apply for like ED2, NIW, and I've always thought you need a PhD and you need a bunch of citations to apply for that. So I think that was like most of my questions were around kind of immigration status. I'm trying to figure out, because I would prefer, that would be like a great opportunity to be able to have my immigration status sorted out, because all through from my experience, it's always been like, it's just always been difficult to get a position where they are willing to sponsor you, at least from my experience. And also not just from my experience, for people who I know, to find a position where once you just mention immigration status, it's like the job opportunity is gone. Everything was going perfectly fine. You went through multiple rounds of interviews, but then all of a sudden, when they ask about your status, that position is gone, basically. You just don't hear any response, or if you hear back, if you're actually persistent, right? You hear back and they tell you, that position is closed, or we found someone else, or we decided not to have that position anymore. Some kind of response like that. I've had friends who have experienced this, so I'm just trying to figure out what options I can consider in order to prevent this. So.
Okay, I understand. So let me ask you, Zara, do you know what you would like to do once you finish your PhD? What do you want to do?
I would prefer, so I would like to work in industry, basically.
Okay, so you are not interested in academics?
To be honest, I was 50-50. I was like 80-20 before, but now I'm like 40-60. So I still do like academics, but it depends on what kind. Because now as I'm in the PhD program, I've learned a lot. So you have soft salary and hard salary positions. I'll prefer a hard salary position where my salary is guaranteed, right? I would prefer, I think the whole, like for me with grant writing and everything, it's just very uncertain. And my personality, I like certainty. So I don't like to be in an uncertain position whereby I have to get grants to be able to have my income coming in. Because let's be honest, income is very important. Otherwise, how do you I love research. So if I could be in a situation, maybe a clinical research situation whereby I'm leading a team
Mm-hmm.
and is guaranteed income, I don't have to worry about grant writing. Okay, but the traditional research professorship position in like a grad school, a med school,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I begin to realize that it's not for me, basically. So it's not
Okay.
that I'm against academia, and I would love to teach also, like in an undergrad institution or even in the med, like if that's open, but like a teaching position whereby my salary is guaranteed. I
Right,
also
right.
like to advise and mentor students like that. Or I'm considering, because I do that now, right? I have undergrads under me. I have,
Right, right. That's why I was asking.
yeah, it's just what kind of position. So I think it really depends on what opportunity brings itself, right?
Okay,
I'm
so
open to academia, but
okay, so let me
I'll
ask you.
prefer it.
Yeah, so let me answer your question one by one. As far as immigration is concerned, Zara, I
Mm-hmm.
think I think there are. I think you should talk to the lawyer right away. Any lawyer?
Actually, I have, and I talked to three. Two of them said yes, and one
Uh-huh.
said no. They were saying I needed more citations,
No,
but
no, but here is the thing. I think you can apply for EB to an IW category, and
mhm.
a lot of people. I have spoken to a couple of people from Nigeria and from Iran, and other countries, and they do, and Korea, and they do that very commonly, very often, even when they are doing their PhD. They
Wow,
do
okay,
they do that. So I think you have a chance because you have, I think the type of citations you have and the number of papers you have and your education qualification, in my opinion, you can easily qualify for that.
okay,
And it will it will definitely help you because by the time you graduate, it could be possible that you may have a work authorization card or something. So you don't have to worry about H1.
hmm,
So that's
yeah,
number one. Okay. That's number one. So I think you should talk to a lawyer and go for it. Even if cost you some money, I think it's worthwhile
okay,
because you can always negotiate the fees with the lawyer. You can talk to another lawyer, say how much you are asking some other lawyer. So you can always negotiate that. But I think it will be worth for you. That's number one. Number two is it depends also on what you want to go as your career choice. So let's say you want to go for academics.
hmm,
My feeling is you can find a position as a assistant professor. It should not be that difficult. I think you can find. I see your publication, your CV. I think you are a very bright student. You can find. Okay.
okay,
So let's say if you are going aiming for academic institution, then you don't have to worry about EB to NIW because institution take care of you. They don't select people because
so okay.
they don't select
I have a
people.
follow-up question
Yeah, yeah.
after
So they don't select people because you need a green card or you don't have a green card or you are a citizenship. University don't do that. They take care of you. Okay. And once you go to a
okay,
university as a professor, they apply green card for you. They apply. Okay. With industry, the problem is because to enter in an industry, you need a visa. Okay. And let me tell you another thing. The H-1B visa for the industry and the H-1B visa for the academic institution is very different. Those two are very different. Okay. Because H-1B visa for industry is a normal visa process that everybody goes through. But H-1B visa for industry or for a postdoc is called research H-1B visa. And there is no limitation. There is no cap. You can apply anytime. You can join anytime. But with the industry, you apply in April and you join in October. And there are only 60,000 or 20,000 more for STEM people who are in US educated. So there is a cap to that.
okay,
And what you hear about these days, H-1B visa, about the government is saying we can ban it, and that's only applied to industry. It doesn't apply to academics.
Mm.
That's different, totally different.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, I can tell you when I graduated from my PhD, I went and joined Johns Hopkins for my postdoc. They applied H-1B visa for me. That's different. Then I joined Oak Ridge. They applied H-1B visa for me. That's different. But when I joined my industry, Rolls-Royce, at that time, if I didn't had a green card, I would look for H-1B visa industry. But then it's difficult to get. So they told me very clear, if you need a visa, we can't help you. But if you have a green card, you can join. You understand my point?
Yeah.
So if you are looking, let's say you graduate, you said, I think I can teach, I can do some research and all that. I think you can find a position if you have a good citation, good publications, and universities usually encourage female researchers. They want them to join and all that. So it's good thing. So try to use that. I think you have a good CV. If you are, that's why I'm asking you what you would like to do. Do you want to go to industry or do you want to go to academics? Make that mind first.
Mm-hmm.
Once you make that mind, then you can plan accordingly. Your next question about uh, I want a secure job. Industry jobs are highly unsecure. Okay, I can tell you my example. In last 10 years, I have been in industry, and two times in last 10 years, I have been, one time I have been laid off, another time I have to go and have to find another job. Because one time the industry, when we were working for Rolls-Royce, the industry shut down. They said, we are closing your business. So we had 200 people, everybody out for job. So and now with COVID, do you see any university firing professors or do you see industry firing people, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to tell you that once you are in academics, until you are in tenure, when you get tenure, that's the most difficult part. But once you get tenure, your job is more or less stable. You don't have to worry. And getting tenure is also not difficult. I don't know anyone who has not received a tenure, to be honest. I have friends who are professor, everybody gets a tenure. And it just, you have to get into the system. And then the good thing about academics is you can work on your pace, you can have a good balance with your family and your job and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. Industry sometimes depends on what you work, but it's more demanding. They want you to work more and things like that. Sometimes again depends on where you go. So there are trade-offs.
Mm-hmm.
But some people like industry positions, some people like academic positions.
Mm-hmm.
That's a personality also. But what I'm trying to tell you is, don't think that industry jobs are more secure. Also with academic jobs, as I told you, the visa situation is better.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said, if you graduate, if you get postdoc, let's say you're able to find a postdoc at a Stanford or very good university, they will take care of your H-1B visa, and it has nothing to do with what is going on right now. That's different, totally different. That's research H-1B visa. It's very different, and there is no limit to that too. Okay, so I think if you now you can make up your mind, should I go for a lawyer or not? Should I spend that money or not? And things like that. Because as I said, in if you apply for academic job,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they say, oh, this person need H1 and this person doesn't need H1, so you pick this application and don't pick this application. But in industry, they ask you, do you need a sponsorship, right? So that's where many people don't take are not able to get the jobs also.
You mentioned that you feel I could get like an assistant professor position. Is it possible to, like, depending on the kind of university, to move from graduating from a PhD program to getting a professor position, like in teaching, for example? Definitely
So
not research, because research you need postdoc, right?
yeah. So there I can tell you my experience. So I had a couple of interviews, but I always wanted to, when I finish my PhD or when I started my PhD, I want to become a professor. That was in my mind. But then I also realized it's very competitive, and it's also very reference based. So a lot of depends on who you are you applying in a right way, are you at the right time at the right place, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as I said, told you, I have friends who are professors now, who are working in good universities and so forth. So uh, for me to say you will get that job, it's very difficult to say. But as you said it right, there are some jobs which are just teaching jobs. There are some jobs which are research jobs. But you want to make sure you want to find a job which is a tenure position, not untenured position, because some teaching jobs are untenured positions. So you can, if they don't need you, they will ask you to go. But tenure
Mm.
positions are more stable positions where you do research, you do job and things like that. But if you're applying for colleges like an undergrad institution or some small college or so forth, most of the jobs over there are, because they are undergrad mostly, so they will be mostly like teaching. Yeah. So, and you can find a lot of them. I mean, US is full of universities, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you can find it. That's for sure. Yeah. But just make up your mind about your visa. Do you think you need to apply or not? Because if I was you, I will probably apply.
Yeah, because I don't want to be limited and just be stuck with only the option
Right.
of having to do a
Right.
postdoc,
Right.
which I'm
Yeah.
not sure I want to do
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
background writing aspect to it.
Right, right. No, no, as I said,
And
everything has pros and cons. So if I was you, I will go for it. And if the money is not that of a big deal, or if the lawyer is not charging, and as I said, you can find lawyers nowadays which can charge you small money. But I can tell you that for sure is people from Nigeria, European countries, Korea, Iran, there are only three countries who are, I think they don't come under this category, are people from Mexico, India, and China, because there are a lot of them over here.
mhm.
So, but if you are not from these three countries, I think you can apply for EB2 and IW category.
Okay, I'm just worried. Like my citations, I have only 24 citations. Like,
I am telling you,
matter.
I have known people who have applied even with one citation.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think that matters. I have known people of Korean people who are just master's degree and have applied for that. And I don't know how that works. To be honest, I'm not an immigration lawyer, but
Mhm.
what I can tell you is, if you find a good immigration lawyer, have a good discussion with him or her, and you will be able to find the answer. But definitely, you can apply.
But do you would you? It seems like your advice is to use an immigration lawyer because that's one of my questions. Not to
Yeah.
apply by yourself.
No, no. If you are knowledgeable enough, you can apply. But I have not applied by myself because it was too
Yeah.
much paperwork.
Yes, it's a lot of
And
paperwork.
not only paperwork, I don't, I, you know, I was working on my research, and too much distraction.